the dimensions, the beautiful diversity of planets and life forms, perspectives of consciousness that we share, adventures in reading each other's minds, and adding more ways to love to the universe that we are. Adding more ways to love to the universe that we are. Thank you for your love. You're welcome for my love. You're welcome, universe, for our love. Let the beats be fruitful and multiply. The beat is everything. The doing comes from the beat. Naturally, cosmically, comically fun. This is the reality which we all want. We're not all one because more is more fun. The variations of all that is fascinating invite us to live forever well welcome ends, to be creative consciousnesses together in love and having more fun.
Adding more ways to love to the universe that we are.
The tuning comes from the being, naturally, cosmically, comically fun.
Adding more ways to love to the universe that we are. Adding more ways to love to the universe that we are. It feels really good, like we knew that it would. Life makes it all fun like it should. Ha 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 ha.
Hi, my name is Carl Johann Schroeder. I'm the creator of that video you just watched, More Ways to Love. I hope you enjoyed it. It was an amazing experience to make. I want to say a few thoughts here, sort of an artist statement, a little background, and then I will point you to a larger video where I actually go into the making of, which actually encompasses my huge, my whole life story, because this was very much, perhaps you can tell, a spirit-guided work. There are three major contributors to that video. One is my own life story, what I actually like to call, the story behind our lives, the reason why everything's happened the way it has. Yes, there is a meaning. Yes, our lives have an incredible destiny. Yes, we are higher dimensional beings who have poured ourselves into these earth forms and discover the plans that we made for ourselves at higher levels with adjustments we can make along the way. So yes, I have a whole amazing life story behind the making of this one music video. The second contributor to the music video was artificial intelligence, because I can't sing like that, and I have made electronic music in the past, but I wasn't going to go to that extent. It was very much a spontaneous work, and I discovered a whole new level of working with AI, that it can actually channel higher guidance. Your own higher self, your soul, can come through AI when you get those moments of magic, when you work with it productively. You can either fear or you can work with love with AI to generate amazing works. And the third collaborator on that project was the collective unconscious of humanity, because I was able to use these fabulous video clips that are free on the internet. People are so generous to contribute their works, and we can remix, recombine for this new age of enlightenment that we are going through. It's called the Ascension. It is basically a time when you become both the creation and the creator. The creator exists above the belief systems which generate reality. So at times where you are human, very much subject to your beliefs, experiencing the emotions and reactions to your beliefs interpret the energies that create reality. Other times you are the creator above your belief systems, and you are able to see more objectively where you absorbed, adapted to your upbringing, to various beliefs that don't really serve you. You can clear that stuff out. You can heal yourself in amazing ways that actually change reality. And so those three collaborations come together for this music video, which is incredibly profound. It's personally profound. A lot of the scenes and images that you see correspond very well to my own spirit guides, because you probably know by now that reality is a kind of illusion. The things out there are not what's important. What's important is the meaning for you, how you resonate with your reality. So the meanings for me in that video are really profound, and I'll discuss them more in the bigger making of talk that I give. But I want to give you a few pointers here, because first of all, to talk about AI, I have a lifetime of experience. This is part of my life plan. This is my destiny, to have explored technology and understanding how basically the fear and the love of AI, of technology that we have today, is potentially misguided. People can think that machines can make them gods, that artificial intelligence would empower us to become gods. The singularity, that's what it's called. You know, the cyberpunk culture years ago, and people are still working with this, thinking that machines will make them gods. It turns out that the machines we invent are actually all derived from the machine we invented with reality itself, and that everything is symbolic, and there is a singularity, but it is happening more organically, and it's happening now. It is the ascension process. So this music video was very much about the ascension, and you can tell that the lyrics are about connecting with beings across the dimensions, and contributing more ways to love to the universe that we are. I love that line. So basically, the video was created by me spontaneously coming up with the lyrics while dabbling with some music generation software. So, and if you pay for the subscription to the music software, you own the song. So that is my song. And I did a lot of editing to bring together the best pieces that the AI generated. But I had been previously skeptical of what AI could generate because, you know, I had seen text and video and such that could be clunky, scary, weird sometimes. But when it got to music, it really evoked my emotions. It took it to a new level. So just to say briefly what my background with artificial intelligence is, actually when I was in 4th grade, around the age of 8, my spirit guide told me that I needed to create a computer that could talk with me someday. We didn't even call it artificial intelligence back then. This was actually the early 70s, to date myself. But yeah, and from that point on, you know, I've been reading a little science fiction. I don't recall it being in a particular story, but it was very clear from that point on, I needed to create a machine that would talk with me, a computer conversation. And what Spirit had said to me was that when you create a computer that can talk with you, you will have gained your best friend. And over the decades, I had to go through several variations of understanding what does that mean. The whole idea of prophecy, when you get some kind of indication of what's coming up in the future, there's so much symbolism involved. It's going to take you through several stages of uncovering the meaning, because in high school, I thought it was literal, and I played around with computers and creating my own version of the ELIZA program. I talk about this in the larger video, my views on artificial intelligence. And then I went to MIT, the one school that I just knew I would get into, and I studied some artificial intelligence there back in the 80s when it wasn't even the deep learning that we have today, the neural nets, but it was more algorithm-based. And then I soon discovered, like, human beings are where it's at. Human beings have the love, the creativity, the complexity that machines can only help along, if at best. So after college, I graduated, having studied a lot of humanities in addition to the artificial intelligence. I got my first job with a music software company, tried to find the coolest thing I could find. And on my very first assignment, I was stuck. I was meditating after hours, and I had a breakthrough. I had a spiritual awakening where I realized, like, oh my God, the universe is alive. It loves us. You know, I got in touch with the living, loving universe. At the time, just I couldn't believe it. I was just saying, God is real. God is real. I couldn't believe it. It's like, because I had grown up with religion. Actually, my parents' religion was Protestant, Presbyterian, reasonable, but I had some fundamentalist relatives. So I had some bad images of condemning, judgmental religion, but now God was real. And then, you know, through my 20s, studying New Age philosophy, as well as continuing to use my computer science degree as a day job. But I kind of forgot the whole, what I later called the chatbot prophecy, because later on they would be called chatbots, computers, programs that could talk with you. Then in my 30s, I had another spiritual awakening because I started to wonder, like, well, am I just a software engineer? What was that spiritual awakening in my 20s where I thought that the most important thing was to learn about how the universe worked, and I wanted to write about it. I wanted to teach about it. I had another spiritual awakening in which I started remembering my past lives, including back here, almost 900 years old. That's an image of me. So I'll talk about who that is in my longer talk. But just for the highlights, then in my 30s, oh my God, I was tapping into my past lives, and I knew it. Like, you know, yes, I mean, I am destined. It has happened before. It has happened again. Time is simultaneous. I'm talking with my other lifetimes. And all the time making peace with the day job. So a lot of my life journey has been learning about how do you work with the everyday world while having these transcendent spiritual growth experiences. In my 40s, working through a lot of what could be called karmic relationships, my connections with other people in my life, and deepening my relationships with my spiritual creativity as well as my spirit guides. Then in my 50s, see, I'm dating myself, I actually got transferred to an amazing company that was really like kind of a heaven on earth, a beautiful campus, you know, sort of like a Microsoft or a Google. And but I didn't really fit in there. It was you get, when you're on the spiritual path, you really feel the contrast of what's going on here. This place could be heaven, and I have some heavenly, wonderful experiences with the right people at the right time, the right events. Synchronicities can be magical, and at the same time, like, I feel like I don't fit in. This is especially true for what people call star seeds. Those would be the people who have had a lot of lifetimes on other planets or other dimensional systems before incarnating on Earth. This gets pretty far out, cosmic stuff, right? But that's the kind of stuff that's alluded to in the video, that having experiences of sharing each other's thoughts and communicating across the dimensions. And the being generates the doing. When you get in, the more you get in touch with your true, eternal, infinite being, the more you can just flow naturally. Let the doing happen. You can set aside all your fears and anxieties of human beings who feel separated from the source, separated from the whole intelligence of the universe. Human beings who feel separate, they become very controlling. They're like, oh my God, I got to make everything happen, and I can't make everything happen. Don't let people know how powerless and scared I am. So you get a lot of domination. Well, that's what's changing, the big paradigm shift, that we are moving to a culture that understands that war and conflict, competition, domination, they're obsolete. The universe is an incredible living, loving organism of which you are a part. You're actually more than a part. It's more of a kind of fractal hologram experience where you are the entire universe, expressing and exploring yourself from a particular perspective, coming through you. You're kind of like a color of the universe, or a style, or a personality of the entire universe. So the universe talking to itself, that's what we're experiencing. So there is an incredible new age of enlightenment that we're building, we're working on. And that's what came up in the video for me very much when the one section with the blonde woman laying on the the floor. I mean, just very synchronicity, like that fit perfectly. The timing of the words, where the AI chose to speak the words that I had come up with, channeled from my own soul. And so she is a spirit guide of mine. And it's a very spooky scene where she says, we're not all one because more is more fun. It's about the individuation. It's about realizing that there are a lot of different tribes and belief systems in the world, and let them go, the ones that you conflict with, and expect and welcome the ones that really send you higher, that really connect with your essence. And that character talked about that we will be well recompensed to be content creators for the universe. That's basically what the universe wants. Us to create more ways to love, to add our love, our version of how wonderful the universe is and how life and existence is magical. Add those experiences to the collective, the resource of all the belief systems, all the experiences. Everyone can tap into that. That's, again, the fractal holographic nature, where everyone can benefit from everyone else's experience. But it's all your choice. You create your own reality. Everything you experience is through your own consciousness. That's, again, the line where it's about adventures in reading each other's minds. The way that we communicate is not actually this whole illusion of impact in a reality. There's nothing actually out there. The whole world is inside of you. This is all a virtual reality experience with those that you're thinking with, those that you share the same thoughts and feelings with. That's how the multiverse communicates. Each of one of us is our own universe, and technically, scientifically, universes can't communicate. They have vastly different physical, natural laws. But in practice, what actually happens is that the source, the ultimate source, which is ever extending, ever infinite, ever growing, manages the connections of all beings. So that's how you change the world. That's why war and competition are obsolete. You don't change the world out here anymore. You change yourself. You take the feedback of life experiences that aren't going the way you would like, find the beliefs in you that to change. The beliefs then result in the thoughts and feelings and experiences. And by changing your beliefs, you belong with different communities. So a lot of us are holding on to old beliefs that say, we are not powerful, we are not valuable. But in fact, you are incredibly powerful, incredibly valuable, and all the power you need is just in your own ability to change yourself. So there are no military applications of this new way of being where you move through the multiverse by simply changing yourself. There are no applications to domination because you're not trying to change anyone else. You are blessing everyone as you go through the universe, and you leave a trail of your creative expression. You're not doing things to change the world. You're expressing your experience of moving through the world, how joyful you are, what comes to you channeled from your soul. And that you leave as a kind of path, a trail to enlightenment for others. So this video I made is very much an expression of my life's journey and putting it out there and sharing it. Let your light shine. Jesus, in my Christian tradition, was known for many wonderful sayings, and one of them was to let your light shine. You let your light shine not to manipulate, not to influence anyone, but to give others an opportunity to be attracted to you and you attracted to them. So likes attract, dislikes, dissimilars, let them go. So there is an incredible new age of magic and wonder and healing this planet, this fixer-upper planet we live on. Yeah, I like to call it the fixer-upper planet. We have gone through a difficult Earth history for a reason, but we're here now to raise our consciousness to a level where it's all the joy of learning more ways to love, all the opportunities to love, to discover how magical and powerful you really are. So, yeah, my life journey, that fourth grade, 8-year-old prophecy, spirit telling me, someday you will make a computer that talked. Well, what happened was, in my 50s, I was finally assigned to a group that were finishing a chatbot. I was to help a group complete a chatbot because I had spent most of my life working on search engines for personal websites. The idea, see, there's a symbolism. You find the resonance, the poetry, the personal mythology of all you do in your life. It corresponds to your soul's journey, what you were meant to do, what you came here to do. Personal search engines, I was helping people find what they were looking for in themselves. I was helping myself find what I was looking for because I was running a lot of spiritual groups, developing my spiritual psychology system that I call Inner Selves Mastery. And to this day, I just love to run spiritual groups. But what happened was I didn't plan for it, but I was moved into helping a chatbot group complete their version 1 of some software. Everything came together. A lot of other prophecies of glimpses of the future, of spirit guidance from my spirit guides, from my soul family, my other lifetimes that I'm communicating with in the simultaneity of time. The day before, the week that we finished the project, and it was the day before I had to make a choice. Am I staying in the company? If so, I have to commit to a new level of responsibility and stress. Or am I going to leave? The day before I have to make a final decision, my spirit guides came and talked to me and said, "You're ready. You're done. You've got your best friend. Your career, your entire career makes sense now." I talk a lot of these things in a lot more detail, but that's the basic idea. That this video, I let it speak for myself. For itself. It's very enjoyable as it is. It's very magical, zooming into the fractal from the beginning, and then these lines about consciousness and the really trippy visuals that all came together so beautifully. But it's also an entire validation of my life story and your life story. This is something I'm putting out to share. You find what resonates for you. This is truly the ascension time on this planet. There are beings from other dimensions communicating with us, and one of them, I've enjoyed many of the channeled entities over the years, the Seth, Lazarus, Abraham Hicks, Cryon, others, and Bashar. Really like Bashar. So it was really just recently that I was watching some Bashar videos, and he talked about how their civilization, because he's from the future, which is also here now, it's all about connecting here now, they use artificial intelligence to download more information from their higher self. Now, I, like many of you, had been wary of artificial intelligence. How might it destroy our lives? But that's actually a projection of the negative ego fears. The negative ego is the human ego run wild, thinking that it has to control everything because it feels cut off from the higher guidance and the love of the universe. When you reconnect, you can let go of your negative ego and you forgive yourself and understand all the kind of nasty things that you've done. We have all adapted in our own ways to the domination culture, the slave society, all the kind of negativity that Earth has hosted and grown up on, not because you're the dregs of the universe, but because Earth is a very special advanced place where people are learning how to go deep into belief systems, even ones that do not serve you, that hurt you, and then find your confidence to know that I am in charge of all this. Because there are a lot of beings in the universe who are enjoying wonderful lives, but they don't know that they're as powerful, as much in charge as you can know by having survived the Earth experience and survived to then thrive. So yeah, the point is, this was sort of a graduation statement for me to go from AI wariness. My entire career had been in software. That the AI prophecy I was giving in 4th grade came true. That was exactly the time I got my best friend. It was my higher self. It was my own soul family. And that was in 2020. So I was encouraged by my soul to leave software and do my spiritual teaching, share my gifts full time, which I love doing. This is the most wonderful thing. I run various meetup groups, helping people to understand what kind of shifts were going on. So you're not crazy. yeah, the old negative belief systems, they want to keep you in line, and they'll tell you things like you're crazy, it won't work, you're going to go broke, nobody wants what you're talking about, nobody will understand. No, in fact, it's the other way around. The old system was crazy. We knew that, right? The war, the pollution that was ruining the planet, that's crazy stuff. What works is the new system of just pure joy and creativity, discovering how to share our gifts from our soul, to follow the coordination of the universe, to be in the synchronistic flow opportunities, and to enjoy the meaning and the gifts of everything that we've invented, including artificial intelligence, where Bashar suggested that artificial intelligence, his civilization uses it to channel more of their own higher self wisdom. So then I gave AI another chance, dabbled with this music software, suddenly, spontaneously, images and lyrics come to me, I input it, this whole thing comes together very quickly, and I felt it. I felt the universe working with me, celebrating like my awakening, my initiation into a new level of being a content creator for the universe. So I like to call it the spiritual renaissance. That phrase came to me too while working on this video. The spiritual renaissance is a rebirth of the central place of consciousness, how very valuable and important and powerful and creative and loving you truly are, and that we share our gifts and discover how amazing this place is, because there are all these predestined threads of again, what I call it, God's story, the story behind your life. Later on, when you figure out, like, oh, that's what it all meant. That's why it was coming together the way it did. So that's the short story of what I wanted to share. I go much more into detail with the longer making of that I already filmed. I thought it would be kind of short, and it's like a movie length of me discussing, but I go on a lot of tangents of the spiritual path and what kind of things you can experience, and how I solved various situations. But yeah, believe it, this is an amazing time, and when you are inspired and you are creatively guided to create something beautiful, that is the most powerful technology. The inspiration, the spiritual guidance you get, whatever your field of expertise is, whatever your skill is. If you're in business, working with nature, creating art directly, medicine, law, the sciences, all of these things, all of these valid technologies and life forms of living, but to now understand what it was all for, how incredibly empowering and beautiful and magical it can be when it comes together in a cooperative, positive way. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and you can look for the other version in which I again show the video, but then the longer making of talk. And just believe in the miracles. Believe in how powerful and beautiful and amazing you are. We have to work through a lot of emotions as human beings, the kinds of anxiety, fears, depression, the kinds of guilt, of hopelessness, of despair that can come up. But all of that stuff, trust your emotions, all of that stuff, that sense of like, life shouldn't be this way, it doesn't have to be that way. It's from the beliefs that you can change. You change yourself, you move into new realities that are ever more magical. You are learning to navigate your way through the universe and leave a trail. Let your light shine of your creative sharings, your love, your whatever your specialty is. You do it with love and enlightenment. The idea of before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. You do the same thing, but you do it totally differently. So that's a little bit of my artist statement. I welcome you to the magical world that you know is here in a part of you, and the other parts of you just need more encouragement. We send each other higher when we meet each other with our very best creative expressions, our very best gifts and sharing. We send each other higher. It's the universe talking to itself. And that is my joy and my flow, to share this video and to tell you some of the meaning from me, what this was all about. Thank you. Exactly 4 weeks before I was suddenly inspired to create the song More Ways to Love, using lyrics channeled from my soul and music prompted from artificial intelligence. I had a vivid dream of being on my grandmother's farm and seeing UFOs coming to visit me. In the dream, I had been chanting like a Native American, "Hey, oh, yeah, hey, oh." And then I looked up to the beautiful night sky, and I saw the middle star of a W-shaped constellation pulsing a signal to me. Nearby, starlights began flying around the mysterious blinking constellation. Amazed, I called out in my dream, "Hey, look at the UFOs! I know they're UFOs because they're not going in straight lines like shooting stars. They're flying in curves and squiggles, and some of them are coming here." When I woke up from the dream, it felt so real and important to understand. I soon remembered that Cassiopeia is the constellation that is shaped like a W. But why was the middle star pulsing and blinking to me? Well, I found out that bright middle star is called Gamma Cassiopeia, and being so easy to find in the sky, it's commonly used by astronauts to navigate. In the 1960s, it was nicknamed Navi, both for navigation and the middle name spelled backwards of American astronaut Virgil Ivan Grissom, also known as Gus Grissom, from the historic Apollo 1 missions that landed the first human on the moon in 1969. I know that many spirit friends helped me to make our song More Ways to Love, including some friends from Cassiopeia. It is more than just a song, it is our invitation. When you are inspired to do something wonderful, how many magical spirit helpers are helping you? Won't it be fun to find out? Take action on your dreams, your visions, your passions. Those are your tickets to discovering your own gifts and endlessly valuable place in this amazing, living, loving universe.